Lewis.
Julian Lewis.
My name is Julian Lewis.
The natural ability that he has.
And he looks to be the next big
We all
thing.
know about the five-star quarterback,
He is one of the
6'1",
most accurate
185.
quarterbacks.
The ascension
Scout
of
say
Juju
he's
Lewis
elite
at
beyond his
Colorado.
years.
If you're a Colorado fan, you got to be on cloud nine. I don't even know a couple years ago if you could have dreamed of things being this great. I'll tell you right now, I don't even think Colorado fans understand the magnitude of this. They told me bust on my AP, perfect timing. Got them baguettes up on my neck, they stay shining. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, well, it's not even a night, another afternoon, another prime time video. We got some huge, and I mean astronomically huge news to talk about involving the Colorado Coach Prime-led Buffaloes and a 5-star recruit. I know why you're here. You know why I'm here. You see it. Colorado is trending all over Twitter. And they are trending for a very good reason. Very good reason. We're going to talk all about that, but we also have another notable headline I want to touch on in today's video, and that includes what Urban Meyer just said about Lane Kiffin. But 95% of this video is going to be about Colorado. Strap in, buckle up, get you a snack, get you a popcorn, get your favorite meal you like to eat when you watch a video, because trust me, I do the same thing. But all right, Matt, blah, blah, shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Oh yeah, too, I'm going to throw this in at the beginning of the video. If y'all want the Colorado versus Kansas preview tonight, let's get this video to, what's a good number? Let's say 250 likes in the first hour. We ain't done a like goal on the channel in a minute, so hey, why not? Might as well do it. You know what? Scratch that. Let's do 300. 300 likes 1 hour for the Colorado-Kansas preview. Let's get back into it. All right, first things first. So a couple days ago, Lane Kiffin was talking about how he was speaking to other coaches in the SEC, and they were talking about how it's a huge risk to make the SEC championship because if you make the championship and you lose, you might get booted out of the playoff. It's a very fair argument. We've already talked plenty about that. But here's what Urban Meyer had to say about it. Quote unquote, you hope you don't go to the championship game? You get up in the morning as you're driving to work, do you say, boy, I hope we don't win the SEC championship? I mean, that doesn't compute. Which I understand Urban Meyer's mentality there and what he's saying, but Lane Kiffin never said he didn't want to win the SEC championship. All Kiffin ever stated is that it may be risky to go to your conference championship because if you lose, you might not make the playoff, and he's 100% right. Look at this comment. Not at all what Lane is trying to say, like I just told you guys, but Urban hasn't been saying for quite some time now, so I won't bash him too hard, and that's how I feel. And let's be honest, conference championships are not what they once were, and they're not valuable anymore. Don't get me wrong, I think every single fan would love to win their conference, but like, for example, last year, Alabama won the SEC. Have you heard anybody since that game talk about it? No. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Ohio State fans would be content with winning the Big Ten championship and not winning the college football national championship? No. Urban Meyer's acting like Lane Kiffin said he didn't want to play in the SEC championship and he doesn't want to win it. That's not what he said. I had quite a few people saying that to me. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about that? But moving along here to the main topic, the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video. What's going on in Boulder, Colorado? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. I'll spoil it for you. A lot of, not just good news, great news. For those of you that don't know, 5-star quarterback, arguably the best quarterback in his class, Julian Lewis, he recently decommitted from USC. Just like many others, I was speculating. I should have made a video about it. I just wound up not getting to it. I figured he'd be going to Colorado. He has shown a ton of interest in Colorado even before he decommitted from USC. Fast forward time a little bit to, well, today, and I believe he did this on the Pat McAfee show. Julian Lewis just announced that he is committing to Colorado. He wound up posting this short video snippet on Twitter, so major shout out to him. And by the way, if you do want to follow his Twitter, it's right here. I'll show a little bit of it to you guys.
Julian Lewis.
Julian Lewis.
My name is Julian Lewis.
The natural ability that he has.
And he looks to be the next big
We all
thing.
know about the 5-star quarterback,
He is one of the
6'1",
most accurate
185.
The
quarterbacks.
ascension
Scout
of
say
Juju
he's
Lewis
elite
at
beyond his
Colorado
years.
would be
Mechanics,
something
big
else.
This fan base, man, Colorado, they are juiced. There is
viral photo of Julian Lewis and Shedeur Sanders.
handing over the keys to the Colorado Kingdom.
As Shedeur Sanders leaves to go to the next level, the next legend at Colorado.
They told me bust on my AP, perfect timing. Got these baguettes up on my neck, they stay shining. But yeah, there it is. Mr. Julian Lewis is officially a Colorado Buffalo. Technically, he's not on campus, but you get what I'm trying to say. He's committed. That's where he's going or plans on going. And I have a hard time believing he's going to flip his commitment because One thing Dion is really good at doing is once he gets these recruits or he gets commitments, they tend to stay. And I feel like for a lot of these recruits, you're either all in with Coach Prime or you're not even entertaining the idea of going there. Here's where things get really interesting, though, and I hate to rain on the Colorado fans parade, and I probably need to make a video on this later in the week, or not later in the week, but early next week. There has been a lot of rumors and speculation going on that Deion Sanders, he might be heading to, the Cowboys. Unless I'm highly mistaken, Mike McCarthy did not get a contract extension, and as you see, the Cowboys suck this year, so it's looking like they may pursue Deion. Those words aren't coming from me, that's just some rumors and speculation I've seen flying around. I've also seen some people saying the Cowboys might draft Shedeur, but I don't really know how much sense that makes because they got Dak Prescott. And I already know you're going to have some people saying in the comment section, well, Matt, Shedeur Sanders is better than Dak Prescott, dude. I'm not here to argue that. Not right now. What I'm here to tell you is the Cowboys have already paid Dak Prescott a lot of money, so I don't see them moving off of him anytime soon. But I don't know. We saw the Atlanta Falcons. They got a quarterback in Kirk Cousins. And then they went and drafted Michael Penix Jr., what was it, the 7th overall pick? We've seen crazier things happen, and I don't even think the Cowboys getting Shedeur Sanders and grooming him to be the next starter would be quote-unquote crazy. I say all that to say this. You got to feel like Coach Prime, I'm not going to say promised, but told Julian Lewis, hey, I'm going to be here next year, and that's what sold the commitment. Because Julian Lewis, that was one of the first questions he had to ask him. Hey, are you going to be here? Because if you're not here, I'm not coming. Because let's be honest, why is Colorado football relevant? Why are they good right now? Because of Coach Prime. That's it. They're not good because this is a good program. No. It's all Coach Prime. Him and his coaching staff have done an excellent job. And if Coach Prime leaves, Colorado's going to go back to being 2-10, 3-9. So it wouldn't make much sense for a 5-star quarterback like Mr. Julian Lewis here to go to Colorado if Prime time leaves. I don't want to sit up here and say this solidifies Coach Prime staying a few more years, but it certainly looks like that's going to be the case. And I know some people are going to sit up here and say, well, Matt, coaches lie to these recruits all the time, and yes, they do. I've had multiple friends and buddies get recruited by these big-time SEC schools, and they all tell me, yeah, the coaches tell you one thing, and then when you get there on campus, it's a different story, and it's a different situation. I had one friend, for example, I'm not even going to say his name because I don't know if he wants to be mentioned. He wound up transferring to an SEC school because of a certain head coach, and that coach wound up leaving before the season even started, and it just ruined that player's year. Because the only reason that player in the first place went to this said school is because of that coach. Coach left and the new coach came in and he didn't like him. And it's not the new coach's fault because you got to think about this. Let's say you're the coach of Kentucky basketball. Well, if you're the new head coach of Kentucky and you had a guy transfer in before you got the job, well, you didn't recruit him. That's not one of your players. You don't even know if you like him. It was one of those situations, and it really puts the players in a bad position and a bad predicament because you want to hear out the new coach, but like I said, you don't even know if he's going to give you a legit shot and opportunity. That would be the same thing here with Julian Lewis. Imagine he commits to Colorado. Coach Prime pretty much promises him the starting job. Coach Prime leaves. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, he goes to the Cowboys. Some new coach comes in. He may not even like Julian Lewis. But, and I have an astronomically big but, I don't see that being the case for one reason only. One thing that doesn't get talked about enough is Coach Prime cares about these kids more than anybody else. The two coaches that had the highest amount of integrity and morals were Nick Saban, he's now retired, and Deion Sanders. Since Nick Saban is now gone, I don't know who I would throw in that number 2 spot, but for now, Coach Prime's number 1 for me. I know what you're sitting here saying, Matt, where are you trying to go with this? Here's what I'm trying to say, long story short. Coach Prime would not recruit Julian Lewis, a player at this caliber, if he thought, even for a split second, he was going to be leaving Colorado next year or anytime soon. What Coach Prime believes in, his morals, whatever you want to call it, it's too big for all of that. He would not snake over a kid, not even for a split second. With that being said, let me make this clear. I'm telling you his intentions aren't to snake over Julian Lewis or anything like that. Remember, this is a business, and just because Coach Prime doesn't have intentions of leaving Julian Lewis out to dry, it doesn't mean it won't happen. Maybe in, 6 to 8 months, Coach Prime has a golden opportunity at his hands and he winds up taking it. That may happen, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Getting back on track here at Mr. Julian Lewis, what does this mean for Colorado moving forward? I'll tell you right now, I don't even think Colorado fans understand the magnitude of this. Colorado fans know this. This isn't brand new information, but for some of the casuals out there, let me enlighten you. Colorado has 0 run game. When I sit up here and tell you Colorado can and will only go as far as Shedeur Sanders or any quarterback can take them, I mean it. Colorado doesn't have a quarterback. They can't win a game. It's as simple as that. I currently have their defense in the good category, but they're not great. They're not special. Their defense last year gave up something like, 35, 40 points per game. Well, now You can count on the defense to only allow probably like 21, 28, something like that. But like I said, Colorado doesn't have any run game, so you gotta have a good quarterback. And now that I think about it, if you are a quarterback coming out of high school, why wouldn't you want to play for Colorado? You're gonna throw the ball 40 times per game. I'd love to play for Colorado if I was a quarterback because number one, you're playing for Coach Prime. That's an honor itself. And then number two, you're going to be throwing the ball a lot. And number three, more than likely, you're going to have really good wide receivers as well. If you're a Colorado fan, you got to be on cloud nine. I don't even know a couple of years ago if you could have dreamed of things being this great. And it's like I say in life, not just in college football, when things are going great for you and you think they can't get better, they somehow, someway get better. The downside of that is when things are going bad for you, you think, oh man, it can't get worse than this. It somehow, someway gets worse. Colorado is fortunately on the great side of that. And I mean, just look at things. You're 8-2. You control your destiny for the playoffs. And just looking ahead into the future, it looks like you're going to be in good hands. I don't expect Julian Lewis to be as good as Shedeur because Shedeur has been phenomenal for Colorado the past couple of years, but he's not going to be like a major drop-off. Many more things I could say. I'll end it off here. Let me know your thoughts down below. But